Hey, it's me, Unapologetically T, and I wanted to do part 2 to A Black Girl and Her Hair. I feel like I touched on like my traumatic experiences, some of them, nowhere near all of them, but definitely growing up did not have a good relationship with my hair. Thought I had bad hair just because I had curly hair, and I was always told that my hair was bad. And in particular, I was told it was nappy. My hair was hard to straighten. And when I say hard to straighten, it wasn't because it was stubborn. It was because it just simply would get over processed, and that would just cause more damage and all that stuff. Because I just think like I know, and I know my hair now, and it is no way that those strong as relaxer chemicals was supposed to be going on my hair. So my hair would typically stay straight for maybe like a day or two, and then like soon as water or humidity hit it, it's like poof, back to its natural state, or not even just its natural state, but maybe a looser curl. But it would still go back to curls. And then I would be left with damaged hair. I remember having sores in my head from getting perms. It just was horrendous. The hot comb, I've had like some really bad burns from the hot comb. And if you know, like this just movement, like that causes the burns. However, you feel the heat when that comb is in the kitchen part. So, and then it's funny because my kitchen isn't bad. So it was like, that over processed and fried my hair. And that was another thing that like basically humidity, water hit, done deal. We were not going to be nowhere near straight. So, definitely had a bad relationship with hair. I will say this: the standard of beauty in America has been surrounded around European standards of beauty. And I feel like even their standards of beauty for their own people are insane. I think even their own people do not agree with these standards on average. They do not fit the standards for average people. But what you typically see is blonde hair, blue eyes, very thin. I do feel like now is pushing more towards having more tan skin. However, when I was growing up, it was white was right. And still now white is right. And so that did not do well on my psyche as a young girl growing up, thinking, like it was confusing. So like it was like most of the boys I grew up around, they did want lighter skinned girls with long hair. Those are the shallow ones. There are some that just have a preference. So I must say that too. Some people just have preferences, but then there's some that because of psychological damage, they became shallow, and that's all they could see is a type. And I think we all do have our types, and for different reasons. And I typically don't try to shame people. All I'm going to say is it was very damaging to my own psyche as a young Black girl, not feeling desirable because my hair wasn't, straight, and and matter of fact, my hair wasn't kept. I definitely, like I said in the other video, I have high porosity hair. So typically what happens is if my moisture is not locked in, you can do a style on my hair, and my hair is going to laugh at that style in about 30 minutes because the water is going to be gone, or the conditioner is going to be gone, and you're going to have a whole bunch of flyaways, and yeah, it's going to look like you ain't did nothing. Now, if you can find the proper like conditioner and lock-in method, like an oil or grease, baby, we got waves for days, and it's gonna look good, and it's gonna look nice, and it's gonna be sleek. But if you don't do it right, it's gonna look like a poodle's ass on wash day. So if you have poodles, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so I definitely struggled with self-esteem in that department. I know a lot of 4C girls. I feel like I have different hair types in my hair. I have multiple hair types. There are some spots where my hair is a looser curl. There's some spots where it's tighter. And there's some spots where it act like it almost want to do something straight, but it's still not quite there. So I guess like a wave. And so I definitely had different hair textures within my head. My daughter has it the same way. It's weird for her. Most black people kitchen is like definitely that's where you find the BDBs and all that stuff. But like with her kitchen is even straighter than mine. Like her hair in the back is a lot looser curl pattern than her hair in the front. And so yeah, we definitely, I think everybody is unique in that. And I think everyone should embrace your hair type regardless of what type you have. What is important about hair health is, you know, your hair routine and your porosity level. So you got to meet yourself at your porosity level. So yeah, but I wanted to get back on here and talk about the insane standards that is placed on black women and their hair. I remember that the job that I just left, I had started my locks, and when I first started, they were neat, right? So like, of course, I got compliments about how beautiful they looked and all that stuff. But then you go through that phase where you can't wash your hair for like about 6 weeks, and probably white people don't notice, and some black people don't notice, because if you haven't researched this stuff, then you don't know about these journeys that people are taking with their hair, going natural or locking it. So I couldn't wash my hair for about 6 weeks. So I had to go through that moment of frizz and all that stuff. And I started to begin to like that. So like what I typically would do is like I would go months without getting my hair relocked. And for real, why I did it was I noticed that when I got my hair retwisted, like I got all these compliments about how beautiful my hair was and how beautiful I was. And but when my hair was not twisted, like I even had a student that was black came to me and was like, girl, you need to do something with your hair. And it was like, but this is my hair. Like, what the fuck you mean I need to do something with it? So I just looked at him and like rolled my eyes and kept walking. Like, the self-hate that you have, this is the natural state of my hair. If all was to shut down and we had nothing, like, would Americans be able to embrace their natural beauty? And I don't think so on average. Like, would you be able to go, you know, outside? And I'm not judging people who are, you know, like, do what makes you feel good and what makes you happy. But my whole thing is, like, would you be comfortable, like, bearing you to the world? And I felt like we have been conditioned not to. We have been conditioned to hate ourselves. And I used to do that shit on purpose. Yep. You call it unkept and I call it natural. And this is what my hair naturally does. I would brush my locks. I love brushing my locks. So I would brush my locks. And so you didn't even get to see it in its rawest state, like when I first woke up. Like, I used to have to put a hot washcloth on my hair because it would be sticking up like this way and that way. Like, so like you didn't even get to see it when it was doing this thing for real. Like, you didn't get to see my antennas communicating. Yeah, I've place them down for you. So I just feel like it's such insane standards of beauty when it comes to black women and their hair, and just black women period. I feel like we're being taught to hate ourselves however other cultures are appropriating our essence, and we're left not even feeling comfortable. We're trying to copy what they're doing when in all actuality they want to do they want what we have, but we want what they have, and none of us is satisfied with what the fuck we really have. And it bothers me. I don't judge because I know where it comes from. It's a lot of psychological damage now. But yeah, we gotta stop with our kids, this whole nappy thing. There's always been this movement to cut that out. But the whole nappy thing, the whole relationship with children, black girls and their hair, starting them out with weaves very early, and they haven't even began to you know, love themselves and be comfortable with their own selves and their own hair. I even know, like, my daughter, she would actually get her hair straightened, but she used to want her hair to be like bumped with curls. And I used to take her to the Dominicans because I love the Dominicans when it comes to straightening hair. Yes, that blow dryer be hot, but I think when it comes to straightening hair, like, they definitely do a better job, and it's healthier. I have met other black women, because look, Dominicans are black on average. I'm sorry to tell y'all, we gotta stop with this whole, these narratives. Like, yes, different location, but we was either indigenous there or we were dropped off there. Some of us were indigenous there, some of us was dropped off there, and I'm gonna let that resonate with y'all. But yes, definitely I consider most of them to be black. And then the ones that are not are mixed with Spaniards, French, whoever colonized those places. But that's for you to do your history and your research. And it's not up for debate for me. I am just telling you my opinion. We can agree to disagree. But I definitely feel like it definitely is sad that we have to have a Crown Act. The fact that we have to have a Crown Act suggests that there is inequality with black women and their hair. I will say this: if you are someone that is not black and you're watching this video, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, I understand why. Like, this, you may not have grew up around black people, you may not have really understood the plights of black people. And if you are a white person with wavy hair or curlier hair, you do exist. However, your struggle is still different from ours. So yes, you have a struggle, but it is not our struggle. So don't touch our hair too. Like, I hated this. Like, I had an experience when I worked at Stride Right. It was a white girl I worked with. And she grew up poor just like I did. That's another thing. Like, when you meet poor white people, like, they're inclined to be more down to earth like us. So she didn't just go touch my hair. She asked. And even though she asked, I still let her touch my hair, but it was like, why the fuck do you want to touch my hair? Like, I don't want to touch yours. Like, but curiosity. So I let her touch my hair, and like, the first thing she fucking did was stick my hair up in the air. And was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And she literally was having a moment of, like, she felt like this was fascinating. I felt like I was a goddamn animal in a zoo being probed and looked at, like, because I'm like, well, don't everybody here do this? And like, and that was a learning moment for me. No, everybody here don't do that. Like, hers definitely lift up and went back ploop. And so, you know, like, there are moments for learning experiences. It does make us feel uncomfortable sometimes, but if we are willing, you know, to do that with you, it's okay. However, do not just go out and touch a black woman's hair. I know it looks fascinating. I know it looks beautiful. I know we were denied the right to show y'all how beautiful our hair was because they wanted us to relax it and fit in with your culture. But ask permission. It's just like when a woman is pregnant. Do you just reach out and touch their belly? Some of you people do, but don't. But yeah, part 2, I feel like I wanted to discuss, like, why I felt so uncomfortable with being myself when it came to my hair. Like, I went through so many different hairstyles in life. Like, I was a quick weave queen. I definitely had tracks. I love my braids. Like, I'll never do away with my braids unless I'm locked up. And there's some of you girls out here learning how to do the braids over the locks, so you never know. And I be looking at Chloe and her sister, and they be figuring it out with their locks, and they have really long locks. So I definitely want to go through my Afro phase again, which I do. And if I get tired of that, then I definitely will probably most likely go back to being locked up. But I don't know. I'll see when I get there. And but I definitely feel like In America, we are denied the right to just be our free selves. I even think about women who shave off all their hair. Women who shave off all their hair, and I was guilty of this too. It was like one of somebody I knew, she had a bald head, and instead of asking her, like, how did it feel to have, that, because I feel like that's freeing. And or do we miss the point of, sometimes people are, sick, sometimes people are suffering from, and when I say sick, like cancer or something, sometimes people have alopecia, sometimes people have like different things going on, that us defining beauty by hair is just insane. And I think I've done this before. Like, I've seen a woman who had short hair, and then she had false hair, and it brought out her face, even though the short hair brought out her face. She was always beautiful, but I never gave her the same compliment when her hair was shorter than I did when she put false hair on her hair. And what narrative are we sending? When we do stuff like that, we're sending a narrative that, being natural and being yourself is not as good as being artificial. I'm not saying that, like, my girlies that's artificial, I wear artificial hair. Like, I do. So I'm not knocking you. But what I'm saying is that we cannot make people who are trying to be themselves and be natural seem like the odd ones. That is bizarre. Natural will always be the standard. Like, and I think we have both ends of it. Whatever makes you happy. But however, like, why are we just now getting laws? Like, why are we just now getting laws that saying that we can wear our locks to work? We can wear our, certain hairstyles. Like, why do we have that? Like, because back in the day, it used to tell you had to cut it. Definitely if you was a man, like, you had to cut your cornrows, or you had to cut your dreads, like, and that it was presentable if you did it a certain way. And it made me think about, that was another reason I did a part 2. It made me think about the boy in Texas who was actually suspended from school because he would not cut his locks off. And why are we making rules in schools about how a child can wear their hair? Like, why is that important? How is that important to receiving an education? Definitely when it's something that is cultural. Like, how dare you suspend someone? And this is Texas. If it's Texas or it's Florida, I am not surprised. That's all the fuck I can tell you. But how are we suspending a student? So we value that the hair is more important than his education. And I know rules are made, but that's why we need laws, because these rules are getting out of hand. Like, these rules are insane. And you shouldn't have to choose your culture over other things. Now, I say if your culture includes hurting other people, I'm not with it. But if your culture is not hurting nobody and it is allowing you to be yourself and be free and express yourself, I feel like, go for it. Yeah, like, I definitely see so many problems with the hair standard in America for African people. I mentioned in my last video how when Blue was a young girl, like, the first people who attacked her was us. The first people, and I know why. I don't blame us. I know why. You're psychologically damaged to think that your standard, your natural, your norm is not normal. And there were grown-ass people picking on a little girl because she had her natural hair out. Because her parents wasn't doing fucking crazy-ass designs with, we call it baby hair, but they weren't doing crazy-ass, like, edges and all that stuff on her hair. Like, let that baby be a baby. Let that baby love itself before you introduce it to something else. Like, if if you can't love yourself in your natural state, then there is suffering ahead for you. There is suffering ahead for you. Like, I just can't say it any other way. Like, but what I can say is that I get it. It's psychological damage. Like, it is literally psychological damage. Literally. Our hair defies the odds. Our hair is so beautiful. Our hair, I feel like our hair is connected to the sun. Like, when I say antennas, I mean antennas. Like, I mean that I feel like my hair has the ability to soak up energy from the sun. I feel like my hair is designed to protect my crown. My hair does so many things, but at the end of the day, like India Arie said, I am not my hair. And people will not shame me any further into feeling like, you know, I'm not good enough when it comes to my hair or any other images, you know, of myself that I have to deal with physically. I am out of shape when it comes to what my natural shape is, and I definitely, you know, struggled with that. I struggled with that a lot when it first happened. And then not to mention, like, I had a partner who definitely threw that shit in my face. Like, you had got big, and told me that was why he was cheating on me. Like, so psychological damage, like, told me, like, you got big and blah blah blah, and I was going through depression. So, like, he was just throwing off shots about why I was undesirable and why he went somewhere else. And when I said I was like a soul killer, like, it was a soul killer. However, now I'm still big. I mean, I haven't gotten any bigger than what I was then. Like, because when I got big, I actually have lost weight. When I got big, first go around from taking medications, they just made me want to eat. It was the same thing. Like, each time I got big in life, it was from medicine. Like, when I first started to gain, like, weight really bad was when I was 16 and my mom put me on Depo shot. Like, I didn't trust that I was going to take those pills every day, and she didn't trust that I was going to take those pills every day. So I got the shot, and that lasted for 3 months. And then you go back and get another shot. And what it did, though, was made me want to eat sweets. Like, I would literally crave junk food. And then I would lose that weight. Then I would get pregnant. I would lose weight, and then I had a normal weight size. And then I blew up. They couldn't figure out that time it wasn't medication. I just think, like, I ate so healthy when I was pregnant with her that, like, when I had her, I just, like, I ate whatever the fuck I wanted to eat. It was like, all right, my body is back to me, and I can eat what I wanted. And I blew up. They thought I had thyroid problems, but I instantly, like, lost the weight. And I actually was smaller than what I was when I first, you know, before I first got pregnant. And then I had the nervous breakdown, which I call a nervous breakthrough. And then that's when I actually started taking medications, and that started making me crazy sweets. And I've been just on that little rocky road. So I'm just learning to love me all over. No matter what my shape looks like I said, it could be worse. So I thank God for the health and the conditions that I am in, and, you know, only, you know, hard work and eating better will change that. So I don't beat myself up about it. When I'm ready, I'll be ready. And right now I got a lot of other stuff to be worried about. I'm not done, you know, of anything. So I'm gonna just take that as a blessing until I can get myself together. However, there are people out here who are naturally thick, have always been thick. That's what they know. And as long as they're healthy and they're happy. But I've digressed from the hair. I don't know. I would like to have this conversation again on my future podcast. With some black women, and let's talk about our hair and our hair journeys. We've done this with co-workers. So, like, with my old job, that's why I tell you, like, part of my old job I love. Like, so we had a whole book club, and it was volunteer, so like you signed up, you chose if you wanted to sign up, and we had some amazing books. Like, we read Thick. That's a good one. If you are thinking about societies and its beauty standards, Thick is a good one. I think Hood Feminism too. I like that one. You can find some parts in there too about America's and its beauty standards. And I think, yeah, those two as I can remember. But like, hair came up, and it's definitely like a conversation that, like, I feel like a lot of white people don't understand, solely because you just don't understand. It's not one of your issues. And then there's also, you know, that angle of there are some black people that are brainwashed about, you know, I have many brainwashed, so when I say that, do not feel bad that I'm saying brainwash if it fits for you. But I've been brainwashed a lot throughout life. I am still unlearning stuff, so do not feel bad when I throw around the term psychological damage or brainwash. I've definitely suffered severe psychological damage, and I've definitely suffered brainwashing from not only society, but black men, black women, white people, brown people, and I've probably done some brainwashing and psychological damage to other people as well. So, one second. Alright, so yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I was trying to convince the kid to cook me a bologna burger. She don't want to do it. Ugh. But let's see, do I have anything else about hair? I probably will. Like, this probably might be an ongoing series, because hair was something like that. That had me in a chokehold. Like, this is my first time cutting my hair because I wanted to cut my hair. The first time I cut my hair off, it was suggested that I cut my hair, and then it was practical that I cut my hair. So it's kind of like I just felt like I had no choice. But then when I did it, I felt so free. I felt so free. But I did go through that ugly phase. Like, this haircut, I didn't even go through the ugly phase. It was like, girl, you look good. Like, I look good. Cause the face is the face, and my face be facing. My smile is smiling, and my eyes be eyesing. So, I definitely am at a stronger point in life where, like, I see me, and not only am I beautiful on the outside, like, on this journey, like, I realize how beautiful I am in the inside. Like, there are not a lot of people cut from the same cloths that I am, and I do not want them to be either, because that's a lot of pain and suffering. However, it allowed me to realize, like, how beautiful I truly am in the inside, because I definitely I made mistakes, but I made some great decisions under pressure, and I'm not gonna harbor on my mistakes, and I'm gonna embrace how beautiful my spirit, my soul, how deep my love run. Like, oh my gosh, like, I had to put a cap on it, because it's like it'll spill everywhere, and I don't need all that. So yeah, black girls and their hair. Our hair is not nappy. Our hair in its natural state does not equal unkept. No, on average, you cannot touch my hair. Our braids. Oh, this is another thing that I wanted to talk about. Black women and their creativity. Our braids. Our braids are not ghetto. I'm going to need for us to stop. Our braids are not fucking ghetto. They trace back to the motherland. They trace back to other indigenous cultures. Like, they are not ghetto. When we wear our beads, it is not ghetto. It is a cultural thing. It is a cultural thing, not ghetto. Just because other people need a little bit of seasoning with what they do with their hairstyles, does not equate ghetto for us. Us wearing different color hairs is not unprofessional, is not ghetto. It's not. I even see white people doing it. Like, they don't get called ghetto when they do that. They don't get called unprofessional when they do that. It's not ghetto. I know doctors with tattoos. It's not ghetto. It is cultural. Tattoos and all that stuff stem back from like it is ancient times. Like, it is cultural. So let's take that out of our vocabulary. Like, our cornrows, our braids, it is not ghetto. It is fucking art. And some people can't even get their hair to do what ours do. So, like, love yours. It make me think about that J. Cole song. Like, love yours. Like, love yours. It's not ghetto. I remember I used to be, like, ashamed. Like, oh, you know, I'm putting beads on my daughter's hair. Like, she gonna look ghetto. But I used to put the beads on her hair because it made her hair last longer. Like, because, oh, that's another thing. A black girl in her hair and shrinkage. The shrinkage is real. You could think that a black girl doesn't have a lot of hair, but it just may be that her hair has drawn up from moisture. And my daughter and my hair does it, and her hair does it worse than mine. But her beads used to weigh her hair down, so it looked neater for longer, and it didn't shrink up as much. But I used to feel like it was ghetto until I talked to her. I talked to her pediatrician, and she was like, "It's not ghetto. I put beads on my daughter's hair. Like, it keeps the hair long." And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And it's practical and it's cute. Like, it matches their little cute ass outfits. Like, it's not ghetto. Do what your ancestors did, because we're doing it, and we don't even realize that we're doing it. And so I still encourage you to do that. Like, embrace you. I feel like whether you are on a natural hair journey, whether you are, you know, still doing wigs and you get your braids, have healthy hair. Have a healthy relationship with your hair. Love you. Love your hair. That's my only suggestion. It's not natural versus unnatural. It is more so like, love you. If you love you, none of that other stuff matters. What people got to say about you, what people got to say about your hair. The struggle is real if you're in a natural state. I will say that. I definitely find it more freeing to have a shortcut or to have locks. I do basically minimum. I do feel like with the locks, though, it's a misconception that you are super free, because you super not. You are free with this. But I do feel like with my locks, I would have that natural length, and I enjoyed that I didn't have to do too much. Like, because when I have my regular hair out, I definitely have to moisturize. I have to do a style at night just to make sure that it is ready for tomorrow. And yeah, so a black girl in her hair